Hello, light beams, and welcome. This is Lisa McCardle, your soul awakener and your consciousness activator. And I'm here today because I want to share with you a little bit about this big, bold, and powerful full moon that's happening on August the 15th. So it is a full moon in Aquarius, which happens to be my sun sign. And it's, as we know, the moon being full in Aquarius is sitting with the sun being full in Leo. So it's really a lot of opportunity for higher direction, higher calling, higher self, higher consciousness, like the hawk's view of what it is that you're here to do. And if we think about Leo being kind of the personal and the personal expression, and Aquarius being the universe and the universal expression and consciousness, it's really time for you to get clear about what is your personal calling, your personal impact into the universal consciousness and into the universal awakening. So what role do you play? What infinite role do you play really in the elevation of this time? So what's your contribution? We've been talking a lot about what your soul's calling. This full moon is kind of a culmination, a hyperbolic, if you will, opportunity to what is my soul's purpose? Why am I here? And you're from this higher perspective, really looking at it as like the Hawkeye perspective, if you will. You know, we've spent so much time and so much energy in the clearing realm of forgiving the limitations and moving past the traumas or the limiting belief systems or the things that we came in with. We don't really need to be, if we're on pulse, and bless you wherever you are. But the opportunity for this full moon is to move beyond the viewpoint of the struggle, of the limitation, of the fear, of the even, past the forgiveness piece, and move into the affirmation, the confirmation. This is actually why I'm here. And this is the impact that I'm willing to perhaps have or experience. This is the calling. This is the bliss. This is the joy. I mean, we're moving into this age of Aquarius, and this full moon is so representative of that whole consciousness of Aquarius itself. So if you're needing to offer forgiveness, or you're walking in that pathway of still visiting some of the pain points and things like that, that's totally fine. Bless you where you are. But just seek through the fullness of this moon to what's possible beyond that and where you're going. And after all is forgiven and all is harmonized, what is the truest essence of your soul's purpose, of your calling, that can be activated at this high full moon frequency? It's magic and it's alchemy. So maybe it's even taking those old traumas and that old viewpoint of the limitations and the visiting that has been done over these last years. Maybe it's actually an opportunity to take that, and with the magic that abounds, to alchemize it into it being part of your greatest service. That's the opportunity at hand here. So do a little soul searching around that. So we have the full moon at 5:29 a.m., August the 15th, that specific time. And we really want to acknowledge a little bit about what Aquarius represents. So Aquarians can be a little bit of rebels, a little bit of thinking out of the box, very innovative, a bit eccentric. And so any pieces of you that are wanting to come out of comfort zone, out of familiar, out of I'm really getting an indicator of coming out of the shoulds, what you should be doing, as opposed, I love to call those the bullshoulds. Are you done with the bullshoulds, and are you ready to come into oh, but I could? Not so much oh I should, but oh I could. And how much does the could turn you on? And how much, when you're dreaming and thinking about the possibilities, is there a spark of something that ignites within you that says, oh yeah, I could do that? And we can only get to the coulds of the possibility if we put the shoulds of the limitation away. And that's actually the call for this full moon. That's what we're doing, people. We're moving into all of the possibilities, into the infinity. Maybe it's a little bit out of the box. Maybe what you really want to be doing, maybe it hasn't been done yet. It's an innovative thought. And it's therefore being gifted through you, because perhaps you're the one to bring that innovative thought into a reality. So I have a philosophy of that ideas come through. We get these, what I like to call sparks, these like little whispers come, actually. They come as these little whispers, and we get these whispers of ideas, and they float on by, and you can choose to grab them. And anything that you grab that you give enough attention to, it'll begin to spark inside of you. These thoughts that become things, right? They spark inside of us. And so if we catch the whisper, and if we don't catch it, it's okay. It's going to whisper right on down the lane to the next person who's willing to catch it. And it's the one or the ones who are willing to spark it that give it the momentum to ignite. So it's this whisper, spark, and ignite that I like to play with, of igniting it into fruition, into something that is in service, into something that is transformational, whatever it is. You know, our impact doesn't have to change the world in one swoop, but what it gets to do is it gets to change one tiny little thing that has that good old ripple effect. And one tiny little thing will transform the outcome of the entirety of all that is. So remember, there is no whisper that comes through you that is insignificant. So this is the time where those ideas are really sparking. So it's really, as I said, it's about higher direction, it's about higher calling, it's about higher self. Where are you by divine design? Where are you going? What is happening? It's about being authentic at this point in time, being authentic to your desires, being authentic to your wishes, being authentic to your truths, no longer hiding in illusions of someone else's indicators of what or who you are. That's what's happening. Be creative. There's so many things lining up as far as your creativity goes over the next few days, especially on the 15th, but even 16th, 17th, and moving into the 18th. There's so much. The downloads of creative juice are going to be and are so palpable that please make sure to carve out some time to be sitting, to be in the inquiry, to be in the deep listening, to be in the curiosity of what's wanting to come, what's wanting to spark through me, like what's wanting to come to life inside here. Make sure you give your creative juice some energy, which aligns with the second chakra. Second chakra, your sacral chakra. It's the seat of your creativity. The color is orange. Maybe play with orange over the next few days. Maybe eat it, drink it, wear it, gaze upon it, envision it. Allow it to activate. And it's kind of what we were just talking about as far as second chakra. It's family of origin. It's imprints and overlays of stories that are deeply seated and deeply rooted in ancestry often. But they're also layered, if you will, with your creative expression. It's the womb of your desire. It's the seedlings of all creation, right? All creativity. So you have any of those old stories that are impacting or superseding over top of your greatest creative sparks, it's just time to flush the house and get them out, because you are a divine creator. And the expression of your creativity gets to come through your throat. So how are you expressing your divine creations? So it's about forward thinking. It's about being in the moment. No need right now. And my intention, my hope is that there is no great need right now for you to do a lot of backwards gazing. A lot of the trauma revisiting, as I said. This is forward. Are you forward thinking? Are you moving forward? Is your gaze upon where you are in this moment in your presence and who you're becoming with your next breath, with your next creative inspiration. That's where we're going. It's time to surrender and to let go and to enjoy the freedom that is bountifully becoming available to you. If you are feeling as if you are suffering or you are restricted, please know, and I say this with so much love in my heart, but please know that if you are suffering or restricted, that you have the key, and it is within your heart to set yourself free. And this has never been a more true statement than it is in the light, in the illumination of this full Aquarius moon. So find your freedom, find your surrender, release the old beliefs, allow the consciousness to rise within you, allow the creative inspirations to spark loudly, and then follow the path of their momentum. A creative spark without given attention or without given permission or without given room doesn't have the full potency that it was offered to you. That is by its design. So, and then the thing to know too is that all of this is in 22 degrees. So we have the sun is in 22 degrees, and Venus, I believe it was in 22 degrees. There's a lot of 22s running through this, and I'll have to look again to see exactly what it was, but a lot of 22 energy, which is, I'm at an 11, my numerology is 11, which is a mastery number. And 22 is just a more heightened mastery number of mastery. So 11 is about deep knowing, deep wisdom, deep intuition. And the cool thing about 22 is it's that doubled. It's that and more. And so if you take 2 plus 2, you have 4, which 4 is it's a really good foundation. It's a good building block, right? It's the square, it's the directions, it's the seasons, it's the elements. You know, there's so much based on the number 4. It's because it's a good, strong foundation. So when you take this heightened wisdom and this heightened understanding that comes and you put it onto a platform that gives it a really strong foundation, that means that all of your creative desires, all your creative juices, all your knowings that are coming through have really strong foundation to build a high tower, to make your gaze rise up as you climb that high tower, and to allow for the creative endeavors to have huge impact. So my friends, that is where we are. If you're liking what you're seeing, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. There's more coming. I love to share in video, and so it's part of how I'm gonna get most of my messaging out at this point. So subscribe below and see what's coming next. Enjoy the fullness of this moon. Allow your creative juice to come through, and know that you're just perfect the way you are. Perfectly imperfect, creating a level of mastery, and everything that is sparked through you is so it can be brought into fruition if you desire. Enjoy the ride.